But even I could not have been ready for the scale of what we witnessed at these games. The past 8 years, I've witnessed the whole cycle of life-changing injury, evacuating soldiers and William and I, and looking out here today, it is clear to see we are not alone. You have created...
So picture this. Harry standing at the podium, commanding the room. Thousands of eyes on him, lights flashing, cameras rolling. It's one of those perfectly orchestrated royal-style moments. Formal, poised, serious. Everything feels controlled. But then suddenly something unexpected happens. Out of nowhere, Meghan Markle starts walking up to that stage. No introduction, no cue, nothing. Just pure, bold confidence.
Here's the moment everybody keeps dancing around, but nobody's really talking about. The mic.
Now, for years, this was their thing. Meghan steps up, Harry steps aside. He'd hand her the mic like clockwork every single time. That was their pattern, their silent understanding. But not tonight. This time, Harry doesn't move. His grip tightens around the microphone. He keeps talking, keeps his eyes forward as if pretending not to notice her standing there. Meghan's frozen smile says it all. She's waiting for that usual moment of recognition, but it never comes. The crowd, dead silent, not even a polite clap. And what unfolded next? Oh, it revealed way more than just one awkward public moment. That little scene on stage, it exposed cracks in their relationship that have clearly been forming for a while. Cracks that can't be hidden anymore. Prince Harry was mid-speech, every word measured, every gesture planned.
Ever see a couple smile for the cameras and still look like they're living two different lives? That was Harry and Meghan at Kevin Costner's.
You could tell he was deep in his royal rhythm. His voice was calm, steady, confident. The audience was locked in, silent, respectful. Then, Meghan. She appeared unannounced, walking straight toward him like she owned the moment. Usually, this kind of entrance would get admiration, maybe a cheer. But this time, it was shock.
Screaming matches, death threats, and a bitter split from the royal family. Harry and Meghan.
A man in a purple jacket, clearly part of security, even tried to block her. But Meghan, being Meghan, didn't stop. She simply moved around him and kept walking. She wasn't backing down. When she reached Harry, she placed her hand on his back. A familiar move. That same subtle gesture she's used so many times before. Her signal that it's time for her to take over.
Now here's a video of Meghan watching Harry as he's giving out his award, and you can tell she is not.
Usually, Harry would step aside right then, hand her the mic, and let her shine. But this time, his grip on the microphone tightened. His back straightened, and instead of stepping aside, he kept talking. Just like that, a tiny moment, almost invisible, changed everything. You could feel the atmosphere in that room shift instantly. What started as polite attention turned into pure discomfort. And the crowd? Silent.
This was at the Kevin Costner event that Meghan and Harry attended. Just have a look. She's actually the back.
Completely silent. No reaction at all. Meghan stood there smiling, waiting for some acknowledgement, any acknowledgement. But it never came. Seconds stretched on like hours. You could almost feel the weight of it pressing down. The tension was thick, the kind that makes even seasoned public figures lose their footing. That silence hit harder than any boo ever could.
Oh, here's the moment everybody keeps dancing around, but nobody's really talking about the mic. That tiny...
It wasn't rejection. It was indifference. And in royal circles, indifference is worse than hate. At one point, Harry made this subtle hand gesture, quick, quiet, but clear, signaling her to step back.
Have you ever seen a single moment so tiny, so ordinary, and yet so explosive that it changes everything?
He didn't say a word, but everyone watching could tell what it meant. Meghan hesitated, then slowly began retreating. Each step away from that podium looked heavier than the last. Every inch she moved back felt like an acknowledgement. Something had shifted between them. People there said the air itself felt strange, like everyone knew they'd just witnessed something they shouldn't have. That silence wasn't just awkward, it was powerful. But what came after? Even more shocking.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle took the stage at Kevin Costner's charity event. Everyone was expecting.
By the next morning, that awkward footage had vanished, gone, wiped clean from major outlets. You couldn't find it on any big networks or official coverage. Instead, out came the polished photos. Meghan smiling radiantly, Harry standing beside her, both looking perfectly in sync, like nothing odd had happened at all. The tension was gone, carefully edited out, but social media wasn't buying it. Because online, the uncut clips started spreading like wildfire. The raw footage told a completely different story. Meghan stepping up uninvited, the audience's silence, Harry refusing to hand her the mic. Those raw videos exploded across every platform. Millions of views within hours. Two worlds. The official story showing perfect harmony and the online story exposing real tension. Critics accused the media of protecting Meghan from a potential PR disaster, while her defenders claimed people were misreading everything, twisting body language to fit a narrative.
It's like, where is the mic? Where is the mic? At one point she yelled, give me a f***ing mic, and they didn't give it to her.
But here's the real kicker. The truth had been split in two. One version lived on TV, the other on the internet. And that wasn't an accident. Royal coverage has always been tightly controlled, but this time it wasn't just edited, it was rewritten, which raises a chilling question. If this moment got scrubbed so cleanly, how many others have we never seen? And when you really look closer, it's obvious. This moment wasn't about one awkward night. It was about control, about who gets to shape the story, about how much power they each hold. Not just as a couple, but as two public figures constantly fighting to steer their own image. For years, we've seen the same dynamic. Meghan commands attention and Harry supports. Every event, every interview, every camera flash, he steps aside. She takes the spotlight. Predictable, comfortable, until that night. Because on that stage, something fundamental changed. The old pattern broke. In front of thousands, Harry drew a line. Silent, but clear. That refusal to hand over the mic wasn't just a reaction, it was a statement. The first real sign that the balance of power in their relationship might be shifting. And for the first time ever, Harry didn't just play the supporting role, he stood his ground. The world saw it, not in words, but in action. He didn't step back, he stayed firm. That brief moment revealed something building for a long time. Harry's quiet resistance. Insiders have whispered about it for months, how he's been asserting himself more lately, wanting balance instead of always deferring. They say he's tired of always being the one in the background. Friends describe him as frustrated, stuck between loyalty to Meghan and his growing need to reclaim who he really is. That tension between duty, love, and identity was written all over that stage moment. Because what we saw wasn't just a husband and wife navigating a public slip-up. It was a real-time shift in power, and as complicated as that looked from the outside, it gets even messier when you add in Harry's strange royal status. He's technically not a working royal anymore. No formal duties, no active position. He gave that up when they left the UK for California, but despite stepping back, he still gets introduced as Prince Harry. The full title, the full formality, the royal treatment. One day he's treated like any other celebrity guest. The next, he's honored like an official royal representative. It's this confusing, in-between existence that makes every public appearance unpredictable. And that night, the night of the microphone, that uncertainty hit a new peak. Meghan standing beside him on that stage, in that moment, it was like watching two worlds collide. Harry's half in, half out of that royal world. He's no longer a full-time working royal. Yet every time he shows up at big international events, he's introduced with all the same royal pomp and respect. One day, he's Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, with red carpets and formal protocol. The next, he's just Harry, seated with the crowd like any celebrity guest. It's confusing for everyone, and it's clearly starting to wear on him. You could see it that night. Meghan stood beside him, smiling for cameras, but the difference in how they were treated was impossible to miss. He still carries the royal aura, the one that makes people stand taller, speak softer, act like they're in the presence of someone who matters. Meghan, on the other hand, doesn't have that same automatic recognition anymore. The moment you step outside the royal system, the red carpet can disappear faster than anyone expects. And while Harry's been trained since birth to smile through tension, Meghan's frustration was right there in her expression. She looked poised, but not relaxed, a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Then came the footage that went viral, the one where Harry's expression changes completely in seconds. One moment, he's smiling. The next, his face drops. It's like you can actually see the weight of everything hit him. The pressure, the cameras, the awkwardness, all in one blink. That's the thing about these two. Every public appearance turns into a guessing game. Will Harry be seated with royals or tucked in with the guests? Will Meghan get introduced as Duchess or as a Hollywood personality? Will they be treated like insiders or outsiders? And that unpredictability? It's no accident. The gray area keeps them relevant. The palace doesn't need to officially include them to keep them in the conversation. Just the mystery of where they stand guarantees clicks, headlines, and speculation. When Harry refused to hand over that mic, it wasn't just about that speech. It was about identity, about where he belongs. People watching that night saw more than an awkward couple's moment. They saw a man caught between two worlds, trying to reclaim something that's been slipping away for years. Because here's what no one can deny. Behind those smiles and rehearsed lines, something real is happening. The cracks are showing, not from malice or drama, but from the constant pull between loyalty to his wife and loyalty to the legacy that built him. And that tension? It's no longer just about the two of them. It's about their children and their future. Harry wants his kids to know the life he came from. He wants Archie to experience the same traditions, the same schools, the same deep British heritage that shaped him. You can picture it, Archie walking the halls of Eton the way Harry once did, not just as education, but as legacy. To Harry, that means connection, continuity. But Meghan, she has a completely different vision. She wants their children raised in California, surrounded by freedom, not monarchy, away from scrutiny, away from the same institution she says hurt her. According to insiders, Meghan isn't just delaying talks about British schooling, she's flat out rejecting them, and not quietly either. Apparently, she's made it clear that certain conditions must be met first: security, finances, control. Nothing's ever simple anymore. And honestly, we've seen this pattern before. Remember when Archie was born? At first, they said they didn't want him to have a royal title, to give him freedom. Then came that Oprah interview. Meghan claimed the palace refused the title because of Archie's skin color. That contradiction sparked one of the biggest royal scandals in years. Now, it's happening again. The same clash of priorities. Meghan taking charge, Harry quietly longing for the life he left behind. Those close to them say it's clear. He wants connection, she wants distance. Their sons, stuck in the middle of it all. That onstage moment, the mic, the hesitation, it wasn't about ego. It revealed everything. Afterward, Meghan was sidelined, not invited back on stage. She was seated off to the side, visible, but removed. Her designer gown still sparkled, but the energy was gone. She smiled and clapped, but people weren't approaching her. Meanwhile, Harry mingled with ease, his charm back in full force. The shift was impossible to ignore. Meghan's influence in that room had faded, and media wasted no time spinning the story. Some painted Harry as noble and dignified, others as detached and lost. But that confusion, it's deliberate. Keeping them in that gray zone, part royal, part outsider, keeps them relevant. Observers say it's déjà vu from Sarah Ferguson's story. Never fully in, never fully out. And now Meghan and Harry are trapped in the same cycle, shaped by the very system they tried to escape. That small hesitation on stage became symbolic. The tension, the silence, it exposed the cracks behind their perfect facade. A husband who once stepped aside chose not to. A wife who once took the spotlight stayed still. It wasn't just a moment, it was a message. Something's shifting, and for the first time, the world's starting to wonder, is Harry taking back control, or is this the first real sign that their perfect partnership is starting to fracture? Whatever it is, one thing's clear. This story isn't over yet. Story isn't over yet.